Hello! How is everybody doing today? Woohoo! We have some amazing, awesome, familiar faces. How is it going? Jan. Whoa, I'm so happy to see you here. Kamaru Zaman. Wow. It's been a long time since I've seen you. I think what? It's been 8 years, 10 years. Good morning, Visaka. Thank you. Angela. Hey, how's it going? Good, good. Just for your information, thank you, Angela, for dropping in and saying hello first. So here it goes. Hello. We're actually having another webinar at the very same time where we're talking about enabling the skill of coaching for leaders. And so I'm very happy that you're choosing to be here with me. Ha ha ha. So we actually have another webinar that's going on. Esther, nice to see you. Nick, Nisa, thank you very much for being here. Guys, those of you who can hear me loud and clear, just give me a quick thumbs up or send me your love, 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 love. Yeah. This is Korean, by the way. Korean for love. All right. So since you can't show me this, I can. Yeah. Just give me a quick click on the heart shape and let me know that you're ready to rock and roll. How many of you are ready to rock and roll today? Oh, awesome, awesome. Great morning, everybody. How many of you are enjoying MCO now? How many of you are enjoying working from home? Are you guys still working from home? Those of you who are working from home, you are working from home and that's your option. You've taken it. Please type in WFH, working from home. Let me know if you are. Those of you who are not working from home, put X WFH, not working from home. Okay, let me know. And for those of you who are working from home, how many of you are enjoying it? If you're like most people, working from home is becoming the new comfort zone. It's actually becoming the new. Okay, Esther is not working from home. So excited to get out there, huh? Carmen Lu working from home. Fantastic. Thank you. And for some of us, working from home when we first started this, 18th of March, all right? For some of us, when we first started working from home, how to survive, how to do all this Zoom, how to do all this Facebook lives. Oh my gosh. So if you're like most people, it was uncomfortable, right? And now working from home is the new comfort zone. So it's really, really interesting because that's how change works. And that's how change works because for a lot of people, change at the beginning is difficult. But after a while, it starts to get easier. So how does change work? And so today I'm going to talk about this. So I'm going to go jumping into today. All right, gang, let's rock and roll. How many of you are excited to rock and roll? Give me an exclamation point, please. Exclamation point. Tell me that you are. These are all energy that you give me. You give me more energy, I give you back. It's actually still something that I'm getting used to talking on screen, talking. And I see all of your messages. By the way, Esther, thank you. Esther, I know you're a very expressive person. So those exclamation points, you have to put 4, right? Jolene, thank you so much. So guys, give me your love, give me your energy, and then we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so I hope you have your notepads ready, gang, because you can take lots of notes on today's topic. All right, let me get my screen up and going, and here we are. Okay, nice. No volume. Oh, I'm right here, Kamaru Zaman. Turn on the volume. Not too loud, because later when I get excited, very loud one. Carmen, thank you. Visaka, thank you. Okay. So let's rock and roll. And today we're talking about change, all right? And everybody that is here today, the change series is actually 3-part, okay? So this is episode 3, but episode 3, 4, and 5, which is today, 10 a.m., which is now, tomorrow, 10 a.m., and next week, Thursday, 10 a.m., they're all part of the change series, if I may. All right. So you really want to look at this. You really want to log in to make sure you see the whole thing. Okay. So I'm just going to, because it's major. There's a lot that we want to share with you. Okay. So rocking and rolling, okay, is talking a little bit about change. All right. So let me ask you this question. Those of you who are here to learn about change. Okay, is change easy or hard? If you say change is easy, put easy, EASY, or the short form EZ. Or if it's hard, tell me, what do you think it is? Is change easy or hard? Give me a quick post here, guys. Yeah, give me a quick post. What do you think it is for you? And it's for you. Some people find it easy, some people find it hard. That's okay, but where are you at? Hard. Oh, okay, that's okay. Thank you, Esther. Love it, love it. Who else? Who else? Come on, gang. Is change easy or hard? Dum, dum, dun, 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 dun. Waiting, waiting. Dun, 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 dun. And then some people are shy, huh? Change easy or hard? Hard. Oh, thank you, Jim. You're here. Nice, nice to have you. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? All hard, ah. Depends who or what you're changing. Thank you so much, Jen. You're amazing. Easy. Wow, Visaka. Changes easy or working with. All right. Okay. Thank you, you guys. So is change easy or hard? Initially hard, but eventually easy. Wow, Carmen, you're amazing. I love it. Jan, Drew, easy for me, harder for others. Now that's interesting. Thank you. Thank you. So is change easy or hard? If I may, depends on what you're working on. But if I can just say this, generally for people, generally for ourselves, change is actually easy. Yeah. And I want you to understand this. Change is easy. The thing that's not easy, which is harder, is sustainable change. So if I give you this example, and I use this example a lot, going vegetarian, because I love eating all kinds of food, right? You guys know me, and I go cycling and I take all kinds of photos about the food I eat, and I love eating all kinds of food. So going vegetarian is a big decision for me. So, and if you think about it, going vegetarian for a day, could you guys do that? Could you guys exercise for a week? Now, if I were to say going vegetarian for 365 days, wow. Now, is that going to be harder? Now, that is harder. Why? Because change is easy. Sustainable change is hard. Because sustainable change, keeping the change, integrating the change into your lifestyle requires a change in your mindset, in the way you think. Okay, so because changing just overnight, changing the things you do versus changing the way you think, that is harder. All right, so thank you very much. Jin, accepting change with an open mind makes it easier. Good morning. All right. Okay, so fantastic very much, gang, because change is actually easy. Sustainable change, and that's something that I'm going to talk about today. Sustainable change is actually very, very doable if you know how to do it. You know how to create the changes. You know all the levers. You know the pillars that create the change. And we're going to talk about that today, because change is not hard if you know how to do it. You know the programs that determine how change works. This is very, very powerful. And if I may, essentially all of us as leaders, and thank you so much. I got all your descriptions. I got the different areas of industries that you're in, and most of you are leading your departments, your business owners, your entrepreneurs. You're also senior management in your teams. You run head of departments, and essentially when you leading is about change. As leaders, we are change agents. We are here to create that change. We're here to create a change in the culture. We're here to create a change in the strategies. We're here to create a change in the mindsets. And a lot of time, as we create that for people, it's very important we adopt them first ourselves so that we know how it works. A lot of time, leaders try to create the change for others without knowing how it works. So for themselves, yeah. So if I may, leaders as change agents, you've got to take the change formula first. You've got to drink the formula. You've got to drink the magic potion. You've got to drink it first, and you've got to make those changes for yourself and ask, oh my gosh, what's happening to me? Okay, go through it, and then you're able to be a more effective change agent for your team, for your employees, for your partners, for whoever it is that you are leading. All right, so this is very, very important. Okay, all right, and oops, getting in there. Those of you who don't already know me, my name is Maresa Ng. And basically, I'm the founder and CEO of the Spark Group Asia. These are some of my accolades. I'll let you read them on the screen. And basically, I've been coaching since 2008. I run my business. My past life, I was actually an investment and corporate banker. So I too created an amazing amount of change, and it was crazy. A lot of people ask me, Marissa, how did you leave your job and start this business? How did you do that? And oh, tell me so that I can learn. And I'm going, okay, so the way that I did it, it is crazy. I literally left my job, invested all my money into this, my action coach business, which was my first company. It was to the score of 150,000 ringgit. I threw all my money in there, and then I prayed. Don't do that. Don't do that. I encourage people not to change the way that I did it, because there are so many other ways to create change, and I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about a lot of how I stepped into it, a lot of what was tugging and pulling for me, so that I can show you how you create your change. And how many of you here want to have a better business? How many of you want to maybe, start your company? How many of you want to go to the next level? How many of you want to invest something further in an area that's important to you, and you're going, I don't know if it's the right thing to do? That's what we're going to talk about today. All right, so this is a little bit about me, gang. I'll be sharing a lot more with you about who I am. Small commercial, everybody. Yeah, I don't know if Angela is still here. Angela was on the call just to say hi, but she's logged on to another webinar on the 28th of May, which is right now. All right, we are actually teaching people hot on our heels, ladies and gentlemen, teaching people the skill of coaching. And the skill of coaching is a very, very powerful skill. A lot of people tend to think the skill of coaching is actually for people like Marissa, third-party profession. So they're outside the business. But for me, I need to learn leadership, because I run my business now. Hang on a minute. In leadership, big word, big, hairy, audacious word. In leadership, there are many skills. One of the skills there are skills of being the visionary. There's the skill of being the futuristic leader. There's the skill of communication. And then there are 10 skills written by the Harvard Business Review, HBR. There are 10 skills that are required by future leaders that are necessary in the next 50 years, okay? One of the skills is coaching, empowering people. So quick commercial, guys, for those of you who don't already know that we are running this program on the 5th and on the 12th of June, because you can't be there for this one, which is happening right now. We teach you how to empower your team. We teach you how to coach people. That means we teach you how to get results through other people. And a lot of leaders and business owners need to know that, because they're so used to getting results with their own effort. With, if I got to do it right, I got to do it myself. All right. So very, very special promotion. Thank you, Kamara Zaman. Boleh dah. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you to Jolene as well. All right. Bagus, bagus. Fantastic. So those of you who are online now and you're reading this, you still have a chance, 5th and 12th of June, log it in, all right? But please go to the website below. It'll also be in the comment section, but please write down that promo code, leadership, and we will hive off 60% of the price and give you the discounted rate ASAP. That is for the first time people that sign up, okay? So this is my small commercial, okay? So guys, if you're not already done that, do rock and roll, okay? So are you ready to jump right in? Okay, oops, another commercial, guys. If you're not already familiar with our page where we tell you all the things that are happening in the Spark Group Asia, please go to this page /events, and we will actually give you updates on all the different events that are happening. And a lot of the events that we run are free. They're broadcasts. So we enable you to get all this information within the hour. I'm going to share so many amazing things with you. And then you can be on your way, still building your business or doing whatever you need to do at home. But these are nitbits of very intense information that I'm going to share with you today. So we've got all of that on our website, okay? All right. So, oops. So let's jump right in. Let's talk a bit about change. All right. So I hope you guys can see my screen over here. If you can see my screen, guys, give me a quick thumbs up, gang. Give me a quick thumbs up. How many of you are excited to rock and roll? Give me a yeah. I'm excited. All right. The teacher is more excited. So, if I may, one of the key things when we talk about change, everybody, when we talk about change, everybody, is to understand the comfort zones, to understand what the zones are when we're making change. So if I may, can you see this little, a lot of the colors here? Thank you so much. Jim, Kamara Zaman, awesome. If you can see all these cute little colors here, right in the middle, the red color is what we call the comfort zone. Okay, and that's where a lot of us like to, that's where we all like to stay. We stay in the comfort zone, and it's natural. It's natural for all human beings, me included, yeah, everybody. It's natural to stay in the comfort zone because we know what to do in the zone. We have the skills and abilities to operate in the zone. We have enough knowledge in the zone. So when we want to do something that's new and is different, we're just going, I want to do that, but I'm uncertain. Okay, so you're looking out of your comfort zone, and what's the first thing that you see? Now, this is very important because when you look outside your comfort zone, the first thing that you see is a fear zone. Fear zone is the orange, and the fear zone is a very interesting zone because as you step out, and you're doing all these new things, it starts to, the fear zone starts to creep in where, you know, there's a lack of confidence. You know, how come I'm making mistakes? You know, maybe I don't have enough knowledge. Maybe I don't have the skill. So the right outside the comfort zone is what we see a fear zone. And how does change start feeling good is when you go past the fear zone. Now, this is very, very important because when you push past the fear zone, you push past your initial bouts of excuses, your initial bouts of getting affected by what people are saying about me, you know, or that lack of self-confidence. How come I don't feel sure about doing this Facebook Lives, you know? How come I don't feel sure about bringing my programs online? How come I don't feel sure about digital marketing? You know, so a lot of things are past the fear zone. You go into what we call the learning and the growth zone. Now, this is very, very crucial because one must know that when you break past the fear zone and you go into learning and growth zone, that's where, ladies and gentlemen, if you've experienced this before, that's when you start feeling good about the change. How many of you know what I'm talking about? When you start feeling good with the, I can do this vegetarian, I can find food, you know, and the fear was, and this is me going vegetarian, the fear was, what if I can't find food, you know? And then now I'm in MCO, you know, even food is hard, you know, I can't even cook for myself. Imagine I have to cook only half of the food types, food groups, you know, veggie only, how peng san, you know? So, but when you push past all that and you say, oh, so I've gone vegetarian, I feel good, complexion is so nice, feel like got more energy. Now, this is very important because you're getting into learning and growth zone when the change feels good. Yeah, and this is important. Now, how do you keep the change? This is very important, is because when you go past fear zone, you go into learning and growth zone, you can still go back. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You can still go back into the comfort zone, is because you convince yourself that you're better off there. Hang on a minute. You need to do the opposite, which is to convince yourself that you're not go back there. You need to convince yourself that you're better off with the new change. Now, what is this act of convincing yourself, ladies and gentlemen? I want you to write this down. Is where you need to look for the good in your change. A lot of people don't do that. They're looking for the bad in the change. They're looking for the, oh, this is not right. It doesn't feel right. Oh, so be intentional to write down and look for the good in the change. This is very, very important because that's how, and that's one of the ways, and I'll share it with you shortly. That's why I said this is a 3-part webinar. The last part of the webinar is called integration. Okay, integrating the change into your new lifestyle, and I will go into depth. But a very key point here is Keeping the change means you've got to admit the good things about the change, not just look at the bad things. This is very important. As well as change when you've done something. See, for those of us who are working from home, who's comfortable again with working from home? I've got some people that are comfortable with working from home. Yeah. If you are, imagine this. Your comfort zone has, and this is the thing, your comfort zone has expanded. Now, and as we go through life, and we go through life in business, when we go through life in leading our team, when we first start off, we're uncomfortable with a lot of things because our comfort zone is very small. Never been in business before, never led a team of more than 5, 10, 50, 100 people. But over time, when you are in business for a long time and you try a lot of things, you push yourself, you go to the next limit. What happens to your comfort zone? Is it bigger or smaller? Comfort zone gets bigger. So the key also is to, a lot of people see this differently. They say, I need to get out of my comfort zone. Okay, which is true to a certain extent. Getting out of your comfort zone is necessary at the beginning, because that's where you go into fear zone, you go into the learning growth zone. But eventually, essentially, when there is a change in your lifestyle, there's a change in your mindset, there's I can do this from home, I can do digital marketing, I can do content marketing, I can do all this stuff. What happens to your comfort zone? Your comfort zone gets bigger. The key is not to be outside your comfort zone. The key is to make your comfort zone bigger, so there are more things that you're comfortable with doing, more things that you find I'm so capable at. That's how change works. Because if you're outside your comfort zone, you're outside all that, and you're in the fear zone, you're in that, it can be uncomfortable. So you want to go back in. But if you tell yourself, oh, there's so many things that I'm good at, and my comfort zone gets bigger, boom, you keep doing things that you have the skills and abilities for, that are tried and tested, and you're getting results with. This is actually important, that you understand the zones. Yeah. Understand the zones of change, and you can also teach your employees the zones of change. Remember, everything that I'm sharing with you here, I want you to mirror it, that you're not just applying to self. Please remember that. You are also going to understand it and apply to your team. That is the key, all right? That is the key to be able to apply and teach your team, okay? Failure is different from quitting. Now, this is very, very important, because if you look at that picture over there, this is a very hard picture to find, but it's a picture of somebody that has probably been running for a long time, running. How many of you sometimes feel in business like that picture? You feel a little bit like, oh my gosh, I can't go on. And then you're just looking at the floor and you say, okay, I want to sit down and I want to take a breather. If you feel like that, that is actually not uncommon. Thank you so much, Carmen. I like this. Expand your comfort zone. Totally. I love it. I love it. Because a lot of people say, get out of your comfort zone. I say, get it bigger. Because if there are more things that go into your comfort zone, guess what? Okay, thank you. And so when I talk about failure versus quitting, a lot of people take failure as a label. And a lot of time, business owners and entrepreneurs, leaders especially, they can label themselves with a very strong label and say, I'm a failure. I did not succeed. They label themselves and they become very hard on themselves. So if I may, failure is merely feedback. I call it merely feedback. It's only a sound that it's making to you, a sound that something is not working. So what you do is, and you see, the thing is, every time we do something, if we don't get exactly what we want, what do we get in return? We get the learning, we get the lessons, we get the knowledge, we get the insights, we get the wisdoms. So in effect, we are getting 100% from life. We are. It's just that it's not all in the outcomes of life. It's not all in the form of results. It's coming in the form of learning. It's coming in the form of knowledge, insights, wisdoms. Thank you very much. Especially recently, thank you, Jan. So many peaks and troughs. Absolutely. So if I may, failure, yeah, making mistakes is only a form of feedback. Now, I share this because one of the things that happened to me, and I lost a lot of time, I lost a lot of money, I lost health, yeah. It somewhere between 2012 and 2016. Those of you who have known me, that's a couple of years ago. I was struggling because I took on so many things. And because I had, and guys, if I may, some of you as business owners, you have so many balls. It's like juggling, like we're juggling in the circus, and then you're juggling and you have all these balls up in the air. And sometimes you can't juggle them anymore, and some come crashing down on the floor. And that's how I felt within that period of time. But I was like that guy. I was like this guy. And I was so like, I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I had to make pivotal changes in my life, in my business. But then I asked myself. And so I walked away from some businesses. I walked away from some of my directorships so that I could focus. I could gain back energy. I could come back. But I asked myself this. Is growing my coaching business still what I wanted to do? Did I still want to have coaches? Did I still want to have that ecosystem? Did I still want to do that? Although in that period of time in 2012 to 2016, I was so exhausted from running so many things. So what I did was I simplified my business. I went to the simplest core of focusing on what I do best. Okay. And then I asked myself, Marissa, when you do this, are you quitting, or is it merely a failure that's a feedback to you? Now, this is very important because I took that part of my life very, very hard. I took that part of my life very hard. I was all over the place. I was completely diluted. I didn't have the focus. But then I asked myself, when I simplified my life and focused on coaching, was it quitting? And when I thought about it, I gave myself 3 years to really think about it, gang. Yeah. And I asked myself, yes, my vision and my mission was still true. I still wanted to build the ecosystem. I still wanted to go out there. I still wanted to make a difference, not just to the community in Malaysia, but the community everywhere else in the region. And that's when we grew the Spark Group Asia. And so for me, sometimes things that happen in our life, yeah, challenges and obstacles, they happen not to us, they happen for us. Now, watch the language. When they happen to us, I become the victim. Why is this happening to me? I become the victim. But when something happens for me, what does it mean? It happens because, Marissa, there's something for you to learn. How many of you know what I'm talking about? That sometimes things happen for us to get the learning, and when we don't get it, it keeps happening. It keeps happening. Does that make sense? So this is really, really powerful because I look at the challenges that are in my life and I read them. Is there a pattern? Why do these things keep happening? Not to me, for me. What is it trying to help me learn? Interesting. Hey, good morning, Sherlyn. You dropped in. Nice. And we're getting going. All right. So if I made the ultimate choice, the ultimate choice is when we are frustrated, when we're negative. Yeah. How many of you are sometimes frustrated and negative and you're going, yeah? And when you feel like that, yeah, there are a lot of things that are below the line of choice. Everything that we do is a choice. And if we are below the line, we're feeling negative, we're feeling frustrated, we're feeling upset. Okay, I can go on, right? What are we experiencing? Blaming, justification, being in denial. This is not really happening to me. Yeah. Excuses, stories, gossip, avoidance, negativity. That's all below the line. And when we're below the line, thank you so much, Jim, things happen for us. Exactly. Yeah. And when we are below the line, we experience all that versus we don't actually. Now, let me ask you, how many of us want to stay down there with all of those elements in green? How many of us want to stay down there? Not really. But when life happens, yeah, sometimes I get there and I'm going, I felt it too. Yeah, very, very honestly, I felt it too. Now, the key here is not to not feel these things, because when you feel upset, you feel negative, you feel frustrated, it is a response. It is a feedback, right? It's a feedback. It's coming. It's making a sound. What we need to do is we need to accept it. Okay, that's the sound it's making. But the quicker we accept it, the quicker we can, it starts with S, the quicker we can shift. And the key to mastery, self-mastery, and knowing how to flick that switch. Self-mastery is making a choice to be responsible. Responsibility comes from the word responsibility. The ability to respond to your environment, respond to what's happening. Because the ultimate choice, ladies and gentlemen, is if we are living below the line, we live a life of reasons. And the life of reasons is many. You know, we can continue this. We can continue making a list of all the reasons why we're not successful, we're not where we are, why we have a horrible life. And the reason why I share this is because I realized that there are two types of business owners in MCO. During this COVID-19, I can share with you that something that is happening is that there are so many different forms of adversities. It's crazy, but the kinds of adversities that we have to deal with now is unheard of. It's unprecedented. None of us have ever been through it before. It is so unprecedented that a lot of people are struggling with problems they've never had before. Suddenly, their mall operators, their landlords don't want to give them the discounts, you know, and some mall operators will give the discounts and support you with rental, you know, and employees are difficult. Some employees are good employees. They ask employers, if you can cut my salary, you know, let me support my company. And some are just being pills, you know, they're being difficult employees. But there's so many unprecedented. So are there a lot of reasons? Yes. Are there a lot of problems? Yes. But then there are two types of business owners: the ones that allow the reasons to consume them, and the ones that go, look, at the end of the day, I want a better result. And if I may, and I want you to write this down, we cannot have results and reasons both at the same time. They don't exist. So if you're going to choose results, you gotta throw all those reasons out, those stories. And the key about reasons, and this is important, a lot of people don't realize this. Sometimes as human beings, we make the reasons valid. VALID, munasabah. It makes sense. That's right. I do have the right to suffer because my mall operator is doing this to me. I do have. Now, as valid as your reason is, it's still knocking the air out of you. And that's a choice. So if you choose results, you got to go, boom, get up there, shift. Is that making sense? So the ultimate choice is between results and reasons. And then the key is also this, if I may, when we talk about change, I want to tell you this story about somebody that I was coaching for a little while. Amazing lady. She's always wanted to make more money. She's wanted to get a better income. You know, she's a senior manager in a fast-moving company, right? And so every time I talk about, you know, where you want to go. So let's name her Angie for now. So Angie, where do you want to go? What do you want out of your life as a leader? You know, what do you want out of your career? Where do you want to go with this? You know? And so when I talk about where she wants to go, you know, the conversation, she'll share a little bit of, yeah, I want to be able to lead a team. I want to be able to get more results. You know, I want my clients to feel I'm confident in closing. You know, I want to be a capable person. Okay. But, it goes straight to the but. Without me asking, it just goes, but, you know, I make money, it's very hard because, you know, my mother is always telling me that she needs money. It's hard and, you know, not enough money for shopping. Rental is due. My father is not well, so there's medical bills. And then my staff are being like this, my staff being so hard. And I got to manage customer, get sales, and I got to manage my staff. So the conversation, ladies and gentlemen, went from this is what I want to shoop. Okay. Now, what does this have to do with what I'm showing you here? Can you see this picture of someone punching? Yeah. The key about change is, and if you understand change, you are either change agent or you are being changed. Now, the question that you see here is, who is shaping who? Is the environment shaping you, or are you shaping the environment? So is it coming into you and then you are forced and morphed into your my family background is like that one, you know. I come from a very we got a lot of debt, we got a lot of problems and challenges, you know. I come from that background, you know, so the story immediately goes there. And if your stories go there, you are being changed by your environment. Versus, do you have enough strength internally to change your environment? Make the change instead of succumb to the change. And which is also something that I write there: intentional versus attentional. Thank you so much, Kamaruzaman. Awesome. Results versus reasons. Only results count. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. The reasons are our feedback. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you. Guys, put in your comments over there. I love to hear from you, and I'm going to read it every now and then because it shows me that you're understanding some of this stuff and you're applying it to your businesses as well. Intentional versus attentional. Now, it sounds like the same word. You know, why is Marissa just changing 2 letters on the word and then it becomes something entirely different? The person that's attentional are people that are they're operating by way of what is getting their attention. So it's very short term, it's very reactional. So if I have a problem, I deal with it. I have a problem, I deal with it. That's attentional. Versus being intentional. People that are attentional, it's very reactive. But people that are very intentional, whatever is happening on the outside, whatever problems that I have on the outside, I deal with them. But my intentions are from within. What is my purpose? What are my outcomes? What do I really want? If I really want that successful career, I really want to lead a team, I want my team to be confident of me as a leader, then I need to make sure that I don't get affected by my environment, and I am stronger than my environment. Does that make sense? This is how change happens, because like I said, the change can happen to you or the change can happen for you. Is whether you are shaping your environment or is the environment shaping you, is morphing you into something else. Is that making sense, gang? This is very important, okay? So if you guys are having a good time, gang, how many of you are having a good time? If you're having a good time, the learnings are immense, give me an exclamation point, please. Let me know. Let me know how much you're taking away. So the more exclamation points I see, the more I know that you are learning some amazing stuff here, gang. So give me some feedback, give me some love, all right? Something that I'm getting used to, you know. I was just talking to a trainer yesterday and she says, "Alamak, very hard because we are so kinesthetic. We like to see the eyes and the faces." So for me, I said, okay, this is a change for me. I cannot see your eyes. I can't see your love. I can't see you guys writing down things, you know, because he as an educator, that's important to me. Yo, it's all coming. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you, you guys. Thank you, Jin. Thank you, Kamara Zaman. Awesome, Esther, Carmen. So all I can see is what you type. When you type it, I can see it. All right. So thank you. I'm changing myself. I'm so used to having people in front of me when I speak. And so thank you, Steph. Woo, you're here. Thank you, Jen. Awesome. Oh, thank you, Jim. Your exclamation points mean so much to me. So guys, thank you very much. I bring you into another important segment. So I'm going to talk about motivation in the last 20 minutes of today. So stay with me, all right? Now, again, I'm going to share with you, this webinar that you're on is a 3-part webinar and you're on the first one. The second and the third webinar, I'm going to talk about all of this. Now, today we're going to talk about how change works, okay, is number 1, the motivation. What motivates us? What gives us energy? Okay, fantastic. Charlene gives us a question. Charlene, awesome question. How can we push ourselves up? Can I get to that question in a bit? Thank you very much. Love it. Love it. Stephanie. Okay, so if I may, How we create change, number one is our motivation. Where do we gain the energy from in order, because motivation is about energy, is about energy in your change, all right? You need that because you're trying to step out of the comfort zone into fear zone, and you need energy. So motivation is about that. Number two in creating change is making the right decisions. How do you make the right decisions? How do you make effective decisions? How do you make decisions that you don't regret? Okay, so this is very important. I cover that tomorrow. So please come and join me same time again. I'll give you that. The third part of change is creation. Okay, so after you make a decision, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to start my business. I want to grow my business. I want to, okay, whatever decision you've made, you've got to create the change. And when we create the change, and this is the last webinar on Thursday next week, 10 a.m. So please log in. Creation is not just external creation. External means all my strategies outside, like my business plan, my sales kit, my marketing collateral, blah, blah, blah. That's all external. But the more important part of creating change is the internal strategies. When I say internal strategies, every one of us has a very comprehensive mental map that teaches us to understand ourselves. So these inner resources must be aligned with the external strategies in order for you to perform. Does that make sense? That's why I told you being vegetarian for 1 day, no problem. Being vegetarian for 365 days, ooh, that's a big shift. Okay, so that's creation. Last one is integration. Integration means I integrate, I keep the change, it's sustainable. How do I sustain the change? If not like a rubber band, I pull a rubber band, I let it go. What happens to the rubber band? It goes, it snaps back into its original form. So integration means how do I keep the change? Now this is important. That's also on Thursday next week at 10 a.m. Woohoo! Okay. So let's go into motivation. Okay, so there are a few very key important things that I want to tell you about motivation. Okay, the first part is understanding the formula for change, how people are motivated. Okay, so if I can look at this formula, because in creating change, there are a few forms of motivation. Okay, and when I am motivated enough, I've got enough energy. That energy on the left hand side of the formula must be more than R. R stands for the resistance to change. And if you understand all human beings, and for me as a leader, you need to understand this, because you are going to cultivate change, and you're going to experience. When you try and create change, the first thing you're going to experience is resistance. Now, hang on, guys. That is absolutely common, absolutely normal. Normal to experience resistance. Why? Because human beings are designed to resist change. We are designed. Now, the challenge is the resistance changes. It changes. Now, the resistance is different in different areas of our life. Like for me, people can be less resistant in business and very resistant in exercise. Yeah, how many of you know what I'm talking about? Exercise, tired lah, lazy lah, tomorrow lah. But business, the minute they can see, oh, boom, tell me where, tell me, what do I need to do? Next. So people have different resistance, okay, in different areas of their life. Number two, you should also know that people have different forms of resistance in different times in their life. Does that make sense? Now, this is also very important because let me tell you a story about a few good friends, and this husband and wife are amazing friends of mine. Woohoo, Jim, it's normal to resist change. Hence, that's why it's hard. Okay. And if I may, woohoo, yeah. Thank you. Love your energy, guys. Love it. Keep it coming. I'm inspired now. Woohoo. Okay. So if I may, this story of two friends that were they had a very sick dad that had diabetes, yeah, and actually for the longest time, these two friends of mine had diabetes too. But they were living with it. I still want to eat my sugar. I still want to do all that. And so they were jabbing insulin into themselves, yeah. And it's hard, We'll be sitting down at a cafe pre-MCO, and they'll walk away and they'll go, hang on, excuse me, I got to go. Oh, okay. So is that serious, yeah? But when the father passed away, it was shocking to them. It shocked them. And immediately they went on a health strike. They cut sugar, cut rice, cut noodle, cut bread. Yeah, went on the keto diet. They went on that, and then they dropped their weight down. So from like I think they dropped like 15 or 18 kilograms. Husband and wife became immensely healthy like overnight. And then when I got a chance to ask them, I said, "What happened?" "Oh, we're so affected by our father, my dad passing away, that it affected us because hey, we all had diabetes, but his surgery was complicated because he had diabetes. That's what it does in any operation or surgery. So he just said, so we got scared." Where did their resistance go, guys? Did they know they needed to exercise and quit sugar before? The answer is yes. They knew it. But why didn't they do it? But something happened and the resistance level changed. Did you see that? The resistance level dropped and immediately all this magic started happening. Now, what am I trying to tell you here is that the elements on the left grew substantially. The elements on the left as in the dissatisfaction. The dissatisfaction or the consequence, if they were in their 30s or 40s, probably late 30s, the consequence of not being able to do the things that they wanted to do. They still had 50, 60, 70 years ahead of their life. The dissatisfaction, the consequences. Number two, the vision of having a good life, and they are in a well-to-do family. They do a lot for their community as well, and that vision of creating the opportunities that they would have to forego, versus as along with the knowledge of being healthy, the knowledge of all the different problems that come with being diabetic and cancer and everything else, the knowledge that they oh my gosh, and how they had to take some first steps to increase the quality of life and not rely on jabs. When they had all that, the resistance became smaller and they could take that change. Now, this is crucial because when you understand the D and the V and the K, these are elements that must be bigger than the resistance. It's also the same in MCO. It's also the same in MCO. And these are people that have done lives. MCO is happening right now. And the more you resist it, the more you resist how your business needs to change, how you need to change, how your family needs to change, the more you resist it, the harder it's going to hammer you. The people that had a good time during movement control order, the people had a good time, they saw the change and they go, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? So the resistance was low enough for them to make that change. So this is very, very important because a very key part of motivation, very key part, if I may, is the D and the V, along with the knowledge. Because the more you learn, the more you know, the more you have up here about what you can do, your skills and your abilities, it convinces you, it gives you more confidence that, I can do it. Okay, now a little bit more of this insight creation. I'll share it with you in a bit. How do you convince yourself? Okay. Now, because I want to talk a little bit about the motivation, there are two key motivations, if I may, and you guys will know it. So those of you who know yourself very well, all right, we'll see shortly. If you know yourself very well, you will know that actually human beings has two forms of motivation. Okay, so first you test yourself and then you understand it from your employees, the people that you lead. I'll teach you how to identify as well. Okay. Thank you so much, Jim. D times V times K must be more than the resistance. Thank you. Awesome, awesome. Now, human beings have two forms of motivation. The first form of motivation is to increase what gives them pleasure. Does that make sense? Pleasure means comfort, luxury, satisfaction, happiness, joy, so that is what human beings move toward. They want to move toward pleasure. And then there's another motivation where some people are designed to be better at responding to reducing pain, to reducing the consequences, the pain. If they know something is going to hurt, they are going to be more likely to stop that versus look at, what else can I do? Does that make sense? Now, if I may, you need to understand this correctly, because a lot of people look at this differently because they think that, oh, I am somebody that wants to move towards something. Oh, I'm motivated by my long-term goals. Oh, I have a vision for my business and my life. I'm moving towards that. No, it is not a design. But what I'm trying to say is whether you are toward or away, it very much depends on your period of your life. Okay, so let me clarify. Okay, if you're moving away from pain, a lot of your motivation, you are trying to react to remove something. You're removing something that's causing you pain, is a discomfort. For example, if I have a lack of money, I'm in financial distress. Okay, so as a away type person, I am going to react to this pain and I want to stop it. So I want to make some money so that I stop struggling, right? Okay. Or, okay, I have a difficult employee. So I need to manage this problem. I got to stop this problem. So I got to stop it. All right. So that is an away. You are driven to react to what is happening at this moment. So an away motivation, people that are driven by away, the away motivation can be very reactionary. Reactionary means when there is a problem, that's when they are motivated to do. When there's a problem, they're motivated to stop it. So if there's no problem, no change. Is that making sense? So, and if I may, the away pain is also a very strong drive. It's a very strong drive. I'll kid you not, because it is happening right now and it's painful. Stop. So this is very strong, right? Now, versus toward. The toward pleasure is a more long-term one. It's more long-term because it's out there and you're driven toward it, you're going toward it. So it's more long-term. So it's all about potential. It's all about opportunities. All right. It hasn't happened yet. So it's in the future. It hasn't happened yet. Away is happening right now. Stop it. Right. This one hasn't happened yet. Okay. So if you're toward, your programs are toward, clarity is key. However, be very, very cautionary with people that are very high toward. It's about your vision, it's about your opportunities in front of you. Be cautionary that sometimes these people can be in denial about what's happening now. This is very important. That's why I put potential denial, okay? But clarity is key, okay? And this is more long-term. So if I may, you need to understand these motivations, okay? And I'll give you this example. This is my own personal example. Those of you who know me for a long time, I was actually a corporate and investment banker, okay? Pretty good job and nice, but very stressful, okay? Very, very stressful. And, alamak, Emma, now only you join, hadoy. Not habis, but we've learned a lot. So guys, those of you who are Emma, if you missed it, and those of you that came in halfway, please watch the replay. Okay. Now, as a corporate and investment banker, I knew that my environment was so stressful and I had to get out. So that's how I started my action coach business, and I invested in this business because I wanted to get away from my banking job, which was highly stressful, highly political, and I was always anxious. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I was falling sick. So at that time, because I knew all this was happening, although the money was good, there was a very strong drive for me to get away. If you ask me at that time, did I have a very strong why? Did I want to build this amazing coaching business? Did I want to go and speak on stage in, 6 different countries? Was that what I wanted? Can I tell you? I couldn't see it at that time. Does that make sense? So my drive was away. I wanted to stop this job and I wanted to go somewhere else. So, and I jumped into something that I couldn't see very clearly. I kid you not, at that time, I did not even know I could coach. I didn't know I could, because my background is a corporate finance person. All I see are numbers. All I know are the banking security acts, how to take companies for listing. But if you ask me, did I know anything about marketing systems, SOP, sales, leadership? Did I know any of that? No. That was 12 years ago. So the amazing thing here, gang, the amazing thing is when you make your first decision, a lot of that drive could be getting away from that pain, but going towards something may not be clear. But this is a very strong drive. Okay. How do you know? Fantastic. Thank you so much. Wow. Haha, Shidi, nice to have you. Sherlyn. Oh, 2013. Oh my gosh, that was a long time ago. Thank you. Jen, thank you. See you again soon. So, if I may, how do you know when people are away motivated or toward motivated? Ask them a simple question. Ask them an open question about, and you see, because you want to identify your employees, ask them a very simple question around, how are you today? Where do you see the business in year 2020? How do you feel about your career now? Ask them open questions like that. Now, listen to whether they tell you more things about where they are going, what they can achieve, or listen to whether they are saying, yeah, but tak cukup duit, it's a struggle. Every day come home, not enough money, my husband keep stressing me out about money, my wife keep asking me to pay bills, tak cukup, do they talk more about that, or do they talk about, yeah, I hope that things will get better. I'm learning a new digital marketing course now. I'm investing in myself. I'm doing what I can. This. So this is toward the pleasure. I hope it's over soon so that I can start growing my business, versus away. So listen to what they say. This is a very good way for you to know someone's motivation. Then you can see their programs. And most of the time, it's not toward or away, either or, bukan. Most of the time, it's like maybe 80%, 70% on the other, 30% the other. But I will teach you a way for you to know this, because your leadership intelligence mental map, I'll give you this opportunity to understand your map. So when you can understand your map, you can understand your employees as well. Wow, fantastic. Jim, 2011. Wow, that's a long time. Del Marquez Cusay. Are you from Philippines? Interesting. I just logged in. Wow, good. Listening to their feedback, listening to those sounds they make. All right, very good. So I bring you to, we're talking about motivation, everybody. But if I may, all right, and I'm going to get into some question and answer shortly. The last thing that I want to share with you about motivation is accountability. And if I may, why is this in motivation? Is because I want to share with you a real example of sometimes me, okay? And just generally everyone. If we are going to exercise, okay, let's talk about exercise, all right? So sometimes we get lazy. And for me, sometimes I get lazy as well. But, I happen to be more hardworking than a few people, okay? So I like to exercise. That's different, okay? But if I may, if we don't look at exercise, if I'm going to go to the park and run on my own, and I had a long day, it was a hard day, oh gosh, I'm just going, you know what? I think I'll skip today and I'll go tomorrow, okay? Because that's okay, it's just me, never mind lah. But if I knew I was meeting a friend to run together, or my personal trainer is going to run with me over there, and he's already waiting for me at 5 p.m. Where is Marissa if she doesn't come? So then what would happen is I go, yeah, but Josh is already there. I think I better go. I don't feel like it, but you know what? I just better get up, show up, run those 5 rounds and get it done. Go anyway. Okay. Now, if I may, that's a very important example of motivation, because I want you to write this down. Okay. Sometimes and more times, it is usually easier to let ourselves down instead of letting someone else down. Does that make sense? This is why accountability works. This is why you see that line over there. Who else are you doing this for? Who else are you doing that? And there was this is a period of my life that was the hardest. It was in 2011. when, one of my strong pillars, I've got a lot of strong pillars in my life in doing the businesses that I run, my family, my mother and my father, my employees, my community, my clients, all of you are my pillars. It keeps me strong in what I do. And you know what? All of you keep me accountable to continue doing these things. And in 2011, one of my very strong pillars uh, 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 disappeared. So my father passed away in 2011, and that was one of the people that was supporting me to run my businesses 12 years ago, when I was like, what, a budding entrepreneur, learning how to be amazing in the world, trying all these new things, and I lost him. And so for me, that time was so hard. And I swear, I just felt like I wanted to cancel everything. I wanted to stop and it was the busiest time of my life. I was literally invited to speak on stage at least 3 times a week, to appear on stage, like literally in front of a crowd of hundreds of people. But I was suffering so badly. So, and if I may, I did not focus on the pain. I focused on the others. And if I may, I focused on my clients. I focused on them very hard. I focused on showing up for them. Of course, I couldn't be in denial. Be very careful if you're in denial, because when I run my day, I was professional. I didn't cry. I didn't get all upset. I didn't complain about things. No, I showed up as normal, so much so that my clients did not even know my father passed away. When they found out like 3 months later, they go, what? Because I didn't look like it, but I knew how to deal with my emotions at night. It was terrible, I would say, especially the first few weeks, but I had to deal with it. But I can tell you what made me show up. The motivation of showing up was showing up for my clients, showing up because I knew I still had a duty and a responsibility to them. And if the tables were turned around, if something were to happen to them, they need someone like me to pull them out. So if I were to be broken, then who could they rely on? The accountability. So if I may, it is very important to know also, who else are you doing this for? And sometimes we're doing this for our kids. Sometimes we're doing this for our families, but you want to share that. And one of the things that I learned is, if you want to be successful in achieving your goal, you want to be successful in achieving that success in your life, it's way too easy to let yourself down. It is a lot harder when you say, okay, mommy, daddy going to take your kids to Disneyland when we hit 10 million ringgit annual revenue. Oh my gosh, can you imagine doing that with your kids? Every day when you come back, they're gonna go, mommy, daddy, close here already or not? Mommy, daddy. That literally happened to one of our coaches in the UK. He went home and he declared his goal to his kids. Every day, every day he came back, his kids are like, hi, daddy's home. First thing his daughter would ask him, daddy, did you close new client today? And he shared that with us. We laughed our heads off, laughed our faces. Said, "Isn't that the best kind of accountability?" And that's why having mentors, having partners, having a community to belong to, having coaches. That's why I have a coach. I have someone that keeps me accountable to my mindset, to my businesses, because I know sometimes it's just way too easy to get all caught up in my head about what works for me, and sometimes I let myself off. So this is very, very crucial. Thank you so much, Jim. Accountability is by showing up. Carmen, yes, most of the times we move on because of others. Yeah, absolutely. That motivation is not just us. As human beings, we are so connected more than anything. We're accountable for what we have committed. And if I may, the highest level of accountability is verbalizing what you want. The more you say it to more people around you, the more likely you're going to go, oh my gosh, I'm committed. All right. Focus out is what keeps us going. Absolutely. Yeah, mommy. How much did you make today? Jim. Whoops. Okay. So if I may, the accountability. This is a very important part of motivation. All right. Absolutely. Thank you very much, guys. Fantastic. Cool, cool, cool. And so for a lot of us, understanding our intelligence. I call them intelligences because when we understand ourselves well, we make good decisions that can support our community, support people that depend on us, because we are also making good decisions that are important to us. So the leadership intelligences, if I may, there are a few key areas. Yeah, number one, how fast you execute. All right, how you make decisions. Are you somebody that goes inside first, internally? Do you know the answers for yourself? If somebody asks you, hey, what do you want to have for dinner? Are you somebody that has your own answer first, or are you going to rely on everybody else's answer, internal versus external? That's how you make decisions. Do you internalize it or do you externalize it? How fast you take action, number three. Number four, motivation by pain or pleasure. Now, this is also very important because motivation by pain or pleasure, are you somebody that is more driven now towards something, or you are driven strongly to reduce a certain consequence? Okay. Number seven, you will also understand your convincer channels. Your convincer channels are how you convince yourself, how you consume information. Visual, V, auditory, visual, whether you need to see. Auditory, you need to listen. K, you need to experience, or you need to read and Google. All right. So that's the digital savvy people now. We have VAKR. Okay. So the convincer channel. Last but not least, number 10. All right. So there are many, many different areas. Now we do this very powerful 26-page report for you, but the report on its own is not going to help you. And number 10, how I handle pressure and stress. So when you're under stress, how do you react? You know, are you going to react with emotion, or are you going to react with logic? And so coming back to this leadership intelligence tool is so powerful. Having the report itself is 850 ringgit. But if you do a debrief together, a debrief means you sit down with one of my certified coaches and we take it through with you. The rack rate is a 1,500, 1,500, where we actually customize a session, coaching session for you. Okay. And if I may, we are actually offering it to you at 280 ringgit only. So this is an MCO special price, guys. So outside of MCO, if we are going to do a debrief for you, the usual price is 1,500. So small commercial here. So for those of you who want to create change, you're not sure, you want to learn more about yourself, get this really powerful MCO only offer. Some of you are on this call that have been through the debrief. Feel free to share about this debrief and what you've got out of it. It will be amazing because you get to know how you're reacting to everything that's going on, only at 280 ringgit. And for those of you as well who say, all right, wow, I know I've learned so much about myself, you know, and some of you are actually on this call where you've learned a lot about yourself and you've been through those debriefs, yeah, and the coaches are helping you to not fall into pits, you know, because we have blind spots. If we're not aware, we have a lot of blind spots, me included, right? So, and once you've known that, you've understood yourself, it's also very good and important that you start learning how to coach others. So learning yourself and leading yourself as the first part of leading others. And that's the same webinar that Angela was here earlier. And we have a few people that came in to say hi because it happened on 28th of May. So if you missed today's session, no problem. Just jump into the 5th of June and the 12th of June. This is a solid webinar where we teach you a lot of framework. So we're going to teach you how to do it. Okay. Special promo code as well. Like I said earlier, leadership. So please log in and get your special price. Okay. So fantastic. So if you guys are happy, how many of you are happy today? Learn a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, super. Awesome, Emma. Great, Stephanie. Love having you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's zoom on up to the question earlier. Can I get the team to show us the question that was posted earlier, please? Can I get some help on that, gang? Sherlyn Chu, Marissa, how can we push ourselves up? Thank you very much. So I think I believe you are referring to, you know, when we are below, you know, we're focused on reasons, you know, we're focused on all these things that are below the line versus shifting. And as I shared a few very important things. Number one, when you push yourself to focus on results, always ask yourself, what is your intention? What outcomes do you want? So, and how I stay focused on responsibility, on owning my shit, on focusing on results. Yeah. Because during MCO, it has been hard for us. It's been hard for everybody. It's not just me, it's not just you, it's everyone is in the same boat. So, if I may, what allows us to shift is to ask ourselves, what is our intention? What would you expect? So if I were to, so I asked myself, if I were to finish MCO and I'm done with this whole thing, and my business is still successful in many shapes and forms, what would it look like? So what are my objectives? So Charlene, if I may, how do I shift is to focus on our intentions and our purpose. What are the outcomes that we want? If my outcome, I say, well, I don't want to be financially distressed. I don't want to be troubled. I want to help more clients. Those are my intentions. Those are my outcomes. Then I shift faster. Does that make sense? I actually shift faster. Also, how can we push ourselves up from below the line to above the line is one very key thing that I do. And I want to share this with you. So guys, it's not inside the slides earlier. Is number one, accepting that I'm feeling down. A lot of business owners and entrepreneurs, leaders don't do that well. They brush it aside and they go for the next thing. They brush it aside and they go for the next thing. No, don't do that. Accept that I am feeling a bit shitty. Oops, sorry. I am feeling a little bit negative. I'm feeling horrible. Oh my gosh, everything that I do is just not helping. Admit that. Admit that. Know that you are and wallow in that for a while. But give yourself, okay, wallow in it for like 5 minutes. So I do that. 5 minutes. Wallow until you're happy. Thank you. Done. Move. And the third thing that I do is I always practice gratitude. When I practice gratitude, I thank everything, everyone, including myself, all my pillars. I thank people. I go into a state of gratitude. I can't possibly be a victim. Does that make sense? So if I may, Charlene, quick answer to that are these three very powerful things. Number one, keep your intentions clear. Okay? Keeping your intentions, your outcomes very, very clear. This will enable you to be able to focus very, very hard. Number two, yeah, give yourself that time to wallow. Yeah, wallow, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, wallow. The bigger the incident, wallow longer lah, maybe 1 hour, then finish. Yep, gone. Number three, gratitude. Okay, so I hope that really, really helps. Fantastic. Guys, key in your questions if you have more questions for me. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I have my gratitude journal. It is so powerful. This is the thing. When I'm feeling low about myself and I start thanking everything that I've got, I immediately start going, geez, I actually have a lot. So in MCO, we had to do that. Thank you so much, Emma. Intentions, keeping it clear, being accepting, wallow if you must. Number three, be grateful. Thank you. Sherlyn Chu, makes sense. Emma, great tips. Kamaro Zaman, my long lost friend. So nice to have you. Learn a lot today. Hope to see you on more lives. Absolutely. Gratitude is powerful. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, I know we've gone a little bit over time. Thank you for bearing with me. Share gratitude daily with the team. Love your tips. Thank you, Nisa. Awesome, awesome. I hope to see you for more lives. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to say bye too soon because I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about, let me switch the slide. Tomorrow we're going to talk about making effective decisions that you don't regret. So after you're motivated, you've got enough energy, we're going to push forward. Now we got to make some decisions that we can live with. So this is very important. Join me tomorrow at 10 a.m. If you haven't already registered, please do so that we can send you the live link right away. Jin, celebrating little milestones. Ooh, that's integrating the change. Fantastic. Practice gratitude. Thank you, Shidi, BFO. Yay! See you tomorrow. Emma, see you on time. Okay. Your Zoom, habiskan early. Okay. All right. Miss you today. All right. So, guys, Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. If you enjoyed today's sharing, gang, please join me tomorrow. But also, please share. Please share this out because this is useful information for people who need to stay motivated. Times are tough. I don't think it is easy, but please share it out onto your pages, and please make sure everybody learns this. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Emma, fantastic. Bye for now, guys. Until tomorrow, take care.